All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're looking at class activity 6S. And we're asked which of the following are word problems for the division problem 3/4 divide by 1/2. For those that are, which interpretation of division is used? For those that are not, determine how to solve the problem if it can be solved. So write the equation. All right, so we're going to be using the definition of multiplication. So let's go ahead and write that down. Which is, we have A, number of groups, times B, number of items per group. And the book uses the units. Oh, I touched the screen. Okay. Number of units. Oh, dang it. In one group. And that equals C, which is our total number of units. I keep accidentally touching it a little on the side here. Okay, total number of units. That's what that says. Okay, now our two interpretations of division is either the first factor is missing and we do not know the number of groups. Therefore, we would be being asked how many groups versus not knowing what B is. That then we're being asked, what is the number of units in one group? Okay, so let's take a look at each of these problems. We've got, let's see, 7 problems here. Some of them are, and some of them aren't. And the way we figure it out is through our definition of multiplication. So let me bring my pen back up. Okay, so Beth poured 3/4 cup of cereal in a bowl. The box says that one serving is 1/2 cup. How many servings are in Beth's bowl? All right, so we have number of groups times number of units in one group equaling total number of units. We definitely have that 1/2 cup is in one serving. So 1/2 cup per serving. That means that we need our amount of servings to be listed here. And our amount of cups to be listed here. Because the servings would cancel, you'd have cups equals cups. Okay, so we have that into position. Now we're told that Beth poured 3/4 cups. So 3/4 is the cup information. And we are being asked how many groups. So we would say that this is a yes. Well, let's look at the division first before we say yes. Okay, so let's form our equation. We would divide 3/4 by 1/2. And that is what they asked us if this was. So now we'll say yes. And they also want us to identify which perspective this is. This is a how many groups. Interpretation of division. Okay. In this second one, Beth poured 3/4 cup of cereal in a bowl. Then Beth took 1/2 of the cereal and put it in another bowl. How many cups of cereal are in the second bowl? Sorry. Okay, let me read that again now that I have the question in mind. So the question is, how many cups of cereal are in the second bowl? So we have half of 3/4 in the second bowl. So 1/2. Oh, I must not have the editor on. Okay. Okay, so we have 3/4 of a cup of cereal. And Beth took half of that. So 1/2 of 3/4 of a cup of cereal are in the second bowl. This is a multiplication problem where we have 1/2 of the group and the group has 3/4 of a cup in it. So we've got 3/4 of a cup. Here, I'll put the cup down here. It's like cup in a bowl. Cup being the measurement, bowl being the eating utensil. Okay, and then we have, I kind of erased it too hard there. Okay, then we have half of that got put into the second bowl. So we have half of the 3/4 of a cup in the bowl. Trying to make it fit our definition here, right? Then here we would have a question mark amount of cups. So we have a bowl, we stuck 3/4 of a cup of cereal in it, and then we took half of that and stuck it in a bowl, right? So we took half of what was in the original bowl. So we took half of the bowl and stuck it in another container. That container is then going to have the multiplication here. So this is actually a no. And we know we can multiply 1/2 times 3/4 to solve it. So we have to try to use our definition of multiplication to identify if this is division. Sometimes we'll be able to tell, like now with it being multiplication and then trying to make it fit the form, but we still have to be explicit with our yes or no's and write the correct equation. So if we can, and here we could. Oh, it's on this one. Okay, so on number 3, we have, oh, I cut it off. A crew is building a road. So far, the road is 3/4 miles long. This is half the length that the road will be when it's finished. How many miles long will the finished road be? Okay, so here we have quantity of road times miles per road. I gotta quit leaning on the side there. Miles per road which equals an amount of miles. It's a little frustrating because I keep touching the side. Sorry. Okay, now we were told a quantity of road that's been completed. That's 1/2 of the road. And we've been told the amount of miles that is. What we don't know is how many miles are there in one road. So the whole road, the project, whatever you want to call it, it's our group. And we don't know how many miles are in that group. So we do in fact have 3/4 divide by 1/2. So that's a yes. They also want to know what perspective is this. We have the question mark and the miles per road. So they want to know how many units are in one group. So first type was how many groups. This type is how many units in one group. Oh, units. Oh, come on. Okay, let's see. In one group. I have to be slower and not lean on the tablet. So not quite like writing on paper, but okay, so we have a yes, a no, and a yes. And we are able to solve the second problem. All right. We have the crew. It's building the road. So far, the crew has completed 3/4 of the road. And this portion is 1/2 a mile long. How long will the road be when it's finished, right? So how long will the finished road be is how it reads. Oh, dang it. Let's see if it's, no. So we can use our efforts from before and still set our situation up, right? So we have road, miles per road, and miles, right? It's the same information kind of. A little glove comes with this tablet. I think that glove was meant for people like me. Okay, we got that much out of it, right? Okay, so this time around, they're asking us, they're telling us that there's 3/4 of the road. So we've got 3/4 of the road. And This is 1/2 of a mile long. So they are asking us, a division question. It's just not 3/4 divided by 1/2. It's actually 1/2 divided by 3/4. So it's a no, because the order is reversed, but we can still say what style of division it is because it's division, right? And they're asking us still, how long will the finished road be? How many miles are there in this road? Same question above, just worded slightly differently. Okay, so that's the same as above. How many units in one group? Oh, I was doing so good. Okay. All right. Well, the Phillies just won 2-1 now in the World Series. All right, let's finish up the document here. We've got, if 3/4 cup of flour makes 1/2 of a batch of cookies, then how many cups of flour are required for a full batch of cookies? All right, so all right, so let's take a look. We're being asked how many cups are there per batch, which puts our batch here and our cup measurement here. Now, put the values in, right? We have 3/4 cup of flour makes 1/2 of a batch of cookies. This is 3/4 divided by 1/2. So yes. And this is a how many units in one group style of question. Dang it. Okay. Now, let's see. If 1/2 cup of flour makes one batch of cookies, so we're getting the unit right there. Oh, I did that before too, huh? Oh, and I have to plug this in first. Okay. Okay, let's see. If 1/2 cup of flour makes one batch of cookies, then how many batches of cookies can you make with 3/4 cup of flour? So let's pull up our tool, which is the definition of multiplication. They're asking how many batches. So this can be a how many groups style of question. if 1/2 cup makes 1 batch. So again, our batch will go here as our group. Our cup will go here as our result. And we're also told that we have 3/4 cup of flour. Okay, so they are asking us how many batches, right? How many groups? The answer, well, first the equation. This is 30, not 34, 3/4 divided by 1/2. So yes. And as we have identified, this is a how many groups. How many groups? Style of division. All right, one more. All right, if 3/4 cup of flour makes 1 batch of cookies, then how much flour is in 1/2 of a batch of cookies? So for this one, we've got 3/4 of a cup per batch. They also tell us that we have 1/2 of a batch. And what we're looking for is how much cups, how much flour is there in 1/2 of a batch? This is multiplication again. So here we're getting the equation 1/2 times 3/4. And this is a no. So let's take a look at the page. So we got yes for number 1, a no for number 2, a yes for number 3, a no for number 4, a yes for number 5, a yes for number 6, and a no for number 7. Now, looking at our no's, we have 2 that are 1/2 times 1/4. So number 2 and number 7. And 1 that was 1/2 divided by 3/4. In our yeses, we have 2 that are how many groups, and 2 that are, let's see, is there 2? And 1 that is a how many in one groups. Oh, look, there's the second one. Number 3 and 5 are how many units in a group. So we have a couple examples of questions that are the same numbers and styles of division, right? So that's always really useful.